Okay, this is day 5 of your mentor training, new mentor training with LACO. Program design and technology. We're going to talk a little bit more about program design technology. The URL for the PowerPoint is right down here, so you can access it yourself, or you can just follow along. And I am recording this. I'm going to archive it so we can save it. And for the people who aren't here today are going to be able to watch it also. Okay? Great. I'm going to get started. So we always have our housekeeping. The housekeeping for today is to send me, to raise your hand if you have a question, and then you can type in the message. So if you want me to stop, just raise your hand, and then I'll stop, and then I'll give you time to type in your message, okay? Your attendance here, I have it on this list of everybody who's here, so that'll count as your attendance for today. You can put this down as a meeting, so it'll be an online meeting. I have the evidence that you're here on the sign-in or the panelist list that I have, okay? Norms are always the same. Today our outcomes is we want you to have clarification about the requirements for the program, so we're going to just kind of review that quickly. We're going to talk about some of the tools that are the ones that we start with at the beginning, and I'm going to also talk to you about the different management system, such as Zoom, which is what I'm using today, okay? Oh, Denise, do you have a question? I don't know. Can you guys all see each other's questions? It looks like you can. No, you won't be able to see the questions? Okay, so what I'm going to do, because it says to everyone. Okay, more. Save chat, allow viewer chat. Okay, so I will read. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I will read the questions that are out loud. So the question we just had was, will we be able to see the questions of the other participants? So it looks like no. Let me see if I can make it so that you can. I am not sure. Chat, that's there. Again, you know, maybe that we would all have to have accounts or something. I'm not sure. So audio options are there. Oops. Okay, the video panels, I guess I see a little picture of myself, so I can see what I look like to you. Sorry about that, you guys. Reading is okay. But if you can hear, or I'll read it out loud. Okay, so that's what I got. Alrighty. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay? All right. So I'm going to start with a reflection question for today. And I want you to think about this as we're going through. And this is the purpose. And these questions come from the mentor standards and the mentor continuum of mentor practice. So the questions are, how do mentors use a variety of strategies and resources to respond to the teacher's professional needs and also to the diverse learning needs of all students? So that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today. And we're also going to talk about how do mentors use technologies to advance teacher practice and maximize student learning. So that is the focus for today, all right? So let's do a little quick review. We're going to start with the California Standards for the Teaching Profession. We fondly call them the CSTPs. And if you look, this is the first CSTP, the second, and the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Underneath all of those CSTPs are what we call elements. So you can see that some have more than others. Number 6 is developing as a professional educator. This is one that a lot of teachers work on, and once they're more explicit and aware of the fact that these are professional norms, it helps them see that as a valid use of their time. The others, there's a lot of overlap, I can tell you right now, with number 3 and darn it, sorry about that, you guys. Between number 3 and number 4, there's a lot of overlap, with a little bit with engaging and supporting also. Number 2 is primarily effective environments, talking about classroom management, physical, and more affective, such as creating a good environment for students. Number 3 is kind of where you're going to see differentiation mostly come in, and also number 5 because it's talking about assessments. So it's a California standards for the teaching profession. These are the teacher standards, and we generally call them and refer to them as the CSTPs. Remember, when we're coaching, we look at coming towards coaching from 3 different stances. This is a conceptual framework for differentiating coaching, and we have instructive, collaborative, and facilitative. And we've talked about this quite a bit, and we've talked about how mentors can go back and forth between the 3 different stances, okay? Okay, so that was a quick review of the coaching piece. I want to look at program design and Canvas and starting to move towards more technology. Okay, are you guys with me? Raise your hands if you're with me. Did I lose Justin? I think I lost Justin. Okay, there we go. Okay, if Anna's trying to log in, there's a question. Try to log in, getting a prompt saying meeting is already in progress. Will it not let her join? Okay. Okay, let me look at where it says participants and see what I, on her cell, she might need to download the Zoom app. She can try it though. There we go. So now we're going to talk about LACO program design and the Canvas learning management system. And do not ask me a question through this. It keeps going on to that. Ask me a question through the chat box if you have a question, all right? There we go. Okay, so this is the Canvas homepage, and one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was that we always need to remember that it's laco.instructure.com, and that will bring you up to this page. If you do canvas.com, you'll go to the main Canvas page, and that's the biggest mistake people make. So the message is that it's laco.instruct.com. That's what it would be, just so that you have it right there. That will take you to the Canvas homepage for LACO, all right? And then once you're there, you're going to get inside, and you will be in the mentor course, and we've been there before, so I know you all have it. I just wanted to point out that if you go to the syllabus page, you will see our website right here. That is the link to our website. And then this is the table of contents over here. You will have a syllabus, announcements, modules, pages, files, and grades. This part down here in the gray is mine because I'm an administrator. Yes, there's an E at the end of Instructure. Keisha wanted to know, was there an E at the end of Instructure? And yes, there is. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna double check that. LACO, yep, there's an E at the end. Okay, just so you know. Okay, so we're back here at the Canvas homepage. So you see that there's the website right here. We have the table of contents, syllabus, announcements, modules, pages, files, and grades right there. Evidence of application for teaching practice. That's what we call all the work that the teachers do with you that is uploaded. That's their evidence that they're applying their teaching practice, okay, and working towards growing. and again, I'm just reviewing right now. This is Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, okay? The Year 1 teachers will do a classroom management training. Year 2 in Module 1. Year 2 teachers will start Engage 11 over here in Module 2. So this is only for Year 1 and ECO people, and this is for Year 2. Within each module, there are mentors will take a survey at the end, and candidates will take a survey at the end, and I'll talk more about that later. This is a closer look of the different modules. I wanted you to see how we have a core right here, and everybody does a triad, the first and second, or for Year 2 people, fourth and fifth modules. A co-assessment, we will talk about that in a minute, and that helps us drive our individual learning plan. And then from there we make our goals, and we'll use these tools to help support the work that we do in those goals. So within the collaboration piece, you have choices from lesson plan tools or observation tools. In the reflection piece, these are the tool choices. The context, these are the choices with a few others thrown in. We're thinking of doing a new tool for next year called End of the Year, Closing Up. We also added on Back to School Night and parent conferences this year as part of our context for teaching. And choice, the fourth one of the module, is any of the others that you want to use. You can do that. The end of each module, again, the mentors and the candidates do a survey, and we'll also be looking at the TLC, Teacher Learning Community attendance. Mentors are expected to go to the TLCs with their teachers, just so you know. What our big discussion has been this year amongst the mentors, or not the mentors, but the coordinators, has been how to ensure that the mentors are attending the TLCs with the teachers, because the teachers really benefit best by having the mentors there. So what we're thinking is that the mentors at the beginning of the year will start meeting with their teachers, and they will then choose the dates at like their very first meeting and then upload it in the teacher's Canvas. So more information will come on that, so don't worry about it right now. But I just wanted to let you know that that's what we're considering. Okay, Denise, do you have a question? Do you want to type it in? Yeah, are the copies of the tools found in the forms section also? Forms section, you know where they're found? They are found in the modules, and they're found in, there's files at the very beginning. I'll show you just a second. Let me look real quick. I'll go there right now to show you where the tools are found. So here I'm logging in to, if you look, it's laco.instructure.com. My dashboard has a whole bunch of different courses because I'm enrolled in all those. Yours will just probably say the mentors and Year 1 and Year 2. We're probably going to put the mentors in there so that they can see and access what the teachers are seeing. Although it really is a mirror of what's in the mentor course. So if we go to the mentors, I'll show you where to find the forms. Just a second, okay? This is what it looks like when you open it up. And there's some directions here. There's also announcements. We'll send those out. So when you get in, you go to modules. And when you open a module, all the forms will be, there's a narrative piece. And then down at the bottom, there's where the forms are. So let me see if I can get this one to open up. About the individual learning plan. And I have a cheat sheet for you on this in a minute, but I'm going to show you. So there's a narrative right here. It gives you direction, steps to take, and then if you scroll down at the bottom, they're going to be like this. So it's a pop out, and they pop out as Google Docs. So at the end of each section, you'll see the tools listed down at the bottom. Voila. The teachers do not have access to most of the tools because this is our way of making sure they just don't go and fill them all out and do it all in a weekend. All that you are posting is not easy to read. Okay, in the chat box. Okay, I'll repeat it again. The question was, are copies of the tools found in the forms section also? And so what I did is I said, no, they're mostly posted in the module section. But it could be in our handouts, yes. But they're all here. I'm going to show you someplace else they all are. In here, when you go to the very first page, the syllabus, it's going to take me a second to get back. Oh, I'm sorry. The syllabus will be there. This is next year's. The syllabus will be there. Oh, wait, here it is. Coming soon is video direction. Oh, darn it. I clicked on something I shouldn't have. It was a pop-up that came up that I usually like, but I didn't need it right now. Okay, so at the syllabus for the mentors, it's way down at the bottom. There's the directions. All the tools are down here also, and you can collect, or the module pieces, so you can click on there and open it up. Oh, the slides are distorted. Oh, that's weird. Okay, just a second, okay? So then way down at the bottom here, you have the tools or the directions for the module sections. When you open it up, the links are down at the bottom. Okay, the slides are distorted. I don't know how to fix that. Just a second and I'll see what I can do. Oh, interesting. Okay, hold on. I'm going to start. Thank you. Okay, so here's the individual learning plan, and this is the thing that we work on at the beginning of the year. We will do this with you at the teacher learning communities, either TLC 1 for year 1 people or TLC 4 for year 2 people. It looks like this. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to open it up again, I think. It's coming slowly. It usually loads a little bit faster. It's because I have so many things going on right now with the video. Where is it? There we go. So each one of these, remember we talked about the CSTPs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Within this ILP altogether, you will record the co-assessment where the teachers landed. You'll record the elements. You'll develop an inquiry question with the teacher that supports their SMART goal. You'll come up with kind of like a little mini narrative action plan. Think about what professional development might support what the teacher's doing in this module. And then down here under evidence, the evidence is the evidence of application. Those are the tools that they're using. Okay? So that's kind of what we're doing here. There's a sample right here of the tools that are filled in. See if this one opens up any faster. There will be samples also within Canvas. I just want to go over it with you right at the moment. If it ever loads. Sorry. Here we go. This would be an example of one where you had, and I filled it in with red so that you could see it better. The co-assessment, the level that this teacher was at was integrating. The elements, there's an inquiry question. The action plan, it could be a narrative. This person just wrote in a couple of bullets. Professional development, and the tools that were going to be used during that module. Okay. Question is, so teachers don't have to turn in student work or evidence. No, the teachers do not turn in student work. The evidence are the tools, the FAST tools that we use. We don't have to show student work. Okay? Part of that is the conversation with the mentor. The mentor supports that. Good question. Okay. I'm closing a couple of windows to try to make things move faster. Okay. So I'm back here now. All right. So next, we talk about professional development. Within the ILP, that little professional development piece, it says, if you want to read this yourselves, so we're asking that you guide the teacher in choosing some professional development per module, at least one. Usually if they're doing stuff at their school site, if they're doing something as part of their team or their grade level, we want to be able to incorporate that into their induction program so that the induction program truly is an embedded program for them. Okay? So the evidence, I'm going to kind of sum this up. The evidence of application for the teaching practice includes the mentor surveys that you do and evidence of application. So the tool usage is documented by the mentor because you're doing that together. Question. The participation in the teacher learning communities and the weekly meetings with the mentors, that's part of the teacher's obligation. That's their evidence that they're applying because things you're discussing during those meetings and learning about during professional development, the participation in the TLCs and the weekly meetings all are supposed to be embedded and working together to support their induction program. The mentor surveys are completed by the mentors 3 times. So you'll do 3 mentor surveys, one at the end of each module, and it's kind of generic. It's not necessarily one survey per teacher. It's all wrapped up and together into the one survey. If you have specific questions or concerns about a teacher, then you need to let us know one-on-one and contact us that way. The co-assessment reflections on the CSTP element chosen at the beginning of each module is also part of the teacher's evidence of application. So you'll choose, remember those little elements? You'll pick one CSTP, 2 elements within it, and you'll reflect on the continuum of teacher practice. We will model it for you and do it with you at the first TLC, and then you're on your own for the other 2 modules, okay? And then after that, at the very end of the year, you'll do a post-assessment. You'll go back and review all 6 elements then, okay? So, and then you'll review them at the end of the school year. It'll be like a post-assessment then. Okay, so if you want to take a second and read this. Justin, I see you are with us again. There we go. Okay, so that kind of is the story about the CSTPs and the mentor surveys. I want to take a minute and show you about the mentor surveys and what they look like. You will find them in the modules section at the end. It'll be a mentor survey. It's embedded. It is set up like a little quiz inside of Canvas, but this is what the content of it is. The answers are confidential and seen by the program coordinators only. We'll ask your district and school affiliation, the candidate's name, and this is a drop-down menu, so you'll click on one. In which area, or not drop-down, but you have choices. In which areas would you like support or resources from LACO? And we talk about all the different areas. So if you need help, and we review these, if you need help, we'll try to address that. On the average, how often do you meet with your candidate? You're supposed to be meeting 4 times a month, but sometimes we want an honest answer. If you have seen growth in your candidate, and if not, you don't have to be specific, but if you have not seen growth, we ask you to explain, okay? And then, are there any concerns you have about your candidate? So this is your time to let us know, and then we'll come back and we'll follow up with you on this, okay, if there's a problem. Okay? So this is the whole idea of the mentor surveys. This is a cheat sheet. It's a live document for you to click on if you save the URL. It's also in Canvas, and we hand these out at the first TLC in the fall. For the mentors, it's kind of just a cheats to navigate through Canvas till you get used to it. Okay. So it tells you that each module, assignment, or task is set up this way. There's a narrative. We talk about the purpose. We outline the process for you, the mentor steps, and the links to the tools in the lower left corner. And then here it tells you how to open the tools, how to make a copy of it if you're using Google Docs. If you're using Microsoft Word, we tell you what to do there and how to save it. And then you share it or send to your candidate, and the candidates will upload it. And these directions are how to upload. So their directions, they have the purpose like you have the purpose. We talk about the candidate, what the candidate does, and the candidate steps and how to submit. I wanted to point out that many people do not read this narrative piece. So please take the time at the beginning of each module or when you open it up to just go through and read it. And then if you have questions, you can come and ask me. But you have no idea how many times I get questions, and I'll say, did you read the directions? And people are like, oh no, I just thought it'd be easier to call you. And it's, please read the directions first, then call me. Your questions will be more specific, and I'll be able to answer them better that way, okay? I don't mind phone calls, texts, or emails. You guys know that. But I just want to use our time wisely when we're together and stuff. Okay? Are you guys still good? You want me to go right on technology, or do you guys need a break to get up and go refill your drinks or something? Okay? Everybody good? If you're good right now, raise your hand, okay? Okay. Alrighty. Cool. Then we're going to go on. You guys are champs. Okay, the technology piece is what we're doing today. So what I want you to do is I'd like you to take a minute. Oh, I guess, you know what? I'm not going to do this. Right now we have 2 articles. This one talks about long-distance mentoring, and this one talks about characteristics of a 21st century teacher. If you were logged into this, you'd be able to click on this and it would take you to the article. But if you're not, I don't know if it'll work. But let me just see if this opens. And I was going to do a jigsaw and have you guys do it together, but right now I think what I'm going to do is just kind of, I'm giving you access to it. You have it here. I just want you to think about a couple of things when we talk about mentoring and long distance mentoring. So what we're doing right now kind of is doing a long distance webinar, and we're talking and we're sharing things this way. In a Zoom meeting or a Google Hangout or something else, you have back and forth interactions. I need to figure out how to do the back and forth interactions in a webinar, okay? Because that's what I need. You're doing a good job with the chat. I appreciate it, and the question asking, but right now, I I would like you to be, I'd love to be able to hear you. It's bothering me that I can't. But anyway, this article talks about long distance mentoring. There's times when it's not convenient for you to be able to meet with your teacher, but you want to get together and you want to do some connecting or see how they're doing, or seeing if you can debrief on something. And it's more convenient to do it virtually, okay? Kind of like what we're doing right now. So this article talks about ways to do that, preparing. And as a mentor, you're kind of in charge of facilitating that communication. So you want it to be purposeful and you want it to be a good use of your time. So there's are some strategies, okay? And about how to mentor distance-wise, either through phone calls, using email. There's challenges. This part, listening for nonverbal. So some of the challenges you have in working over distance is that you cannot pick up the body language or as easily. It does not work as easy. So the idea is listening for nonverbals, you know, how they say things. If you are thinks that there's something coming up that you're not sure about, describe the behavior. Tell your partner that you're hearing or sensing, you know, a feeling tone. Push for specifics. Summarize agreements. These are ways to make the distance mentoring a little bit more personal, and to help you connect with that person. Okay, so just remember, you're in charge if you're doing a distance mentoring, and run the meeting kind of like a meeting. And it'll, rather than, you know, it's not just a phone call, it's not just a, you know, like when I call my son or something, or FaceTime him, it's that you're doing it for a meeting and for a reason. This other article talks about characteristics of a 21st century teacher. So this is kind of an article about you as you're mentoring teachers and working with what they're doing, okay? So I need to get rid of that. I don't know why it's doing that. See, this is just a distraction. Oh, fudge. Presenter view. It pops up. You know how those things do? So like I said, you guys are helping me learn how to do this. So hopefully when we do our next webinar, I'm kind of getting the glitches worked out with you guys. Thank you very much. So anyway, when we think about distance mentoring, though, sometimes it's practical. Los Angeles County is over 4,000 square miles. Look at all the schools and look at all the students we have. Sometimes it makes sense and it's practical to do the distance mentoring. Research is supporting the notion of distance mentoring, especially if you have not been traveling in a car or taking the time, you're using your time wisely. Promotes the professional growth of mentors. So by you guys, those of you who have not done this before, it's helping you grow. Me doing it is helping me grow. Okay, so hopefully you guys are getting me at the very beginning of my career with webinars. Hopefully as we go on, I'll be able to get more effective and you'll say, oh, I remember back when in the summer or whatever, Terry was doing it like this. And hopefully it'll get more professional and more polished as we go, okay? So it's helping me grow. You're helping me grow, and you'll grow as well by doing this kind of stuff. It's building our dendrites, I think. That's what it's doing. Virtual connections resources. So there's different resources that we use. Right now we're using Zoom, which is this right here. If you're comfortable with using Google Hangouts, that's good. There's a number of different ones. My son just gave me, I'm looking at it. It's right now. It's called ICQ. It's like FaceTiming, but it's for when you are not using iPhones. FaceTime's another one. I like Zoom because it seems to have the smoothest, the bandwidth is good, it's less choppy, okay? I wanted to share with you an example of me doing some distance mentoring, and this was about 2 years ago, so this is a while ago. I think I've been doing it a little bit more, but I'm going to share just a couple minutes of it with you, okay? So you don't have to listen to me talk at you right now. You're going to watch me though. So don't laugh. All right. Let's see if this bandwidth will carry it. I'm not sure. It should. It's a YouTube recording of me mentoring with the teacher. If it ever loads. Oh, it's not. Wait, is it not letting me do it? There we go.
Record.
Okay.
So now we're recording.
Don't laugh.
And I am going to go into sharing screen. And so what I'm going to do, I shared this tool with you electronically, or if I haven't, I will. So,
Okay.
but can you see?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see though if I can get the, I need to find my, hold on a second. I need to find my, my Chrome. There we go. Okay, and then here, this is what I had. Okay, now can you see it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I used the Conditions for Equity observation tool partly because of the diversity in your class. And so this tool kind of looks at the conditions for equity: student participation, teacher attention, teacher tone and expectations, and directions that you're giving, the teacher's giving.
Okay.
It has some like exemplars or questions or prompts. So I'm just going to kind of go down this, and then I'm going to see how you felt about it, because I'm going to tell you what I saw. Then I'm going to see what you think.
Okay.
And maybe we can troubleshoot. And then I'm also going to use this Cal to kind of record our conversation.
Okay. Perfect.
We can maybe brainstorm some next steps. So,
Really neat. Okay. Cool.
so what I saw, this is what I observed today, that talking about student participation, you had the kids divided into 3 groups and the 3 centers: the library center, the independent work, and working with you, doing research practice. And what I saw, students working independently seem to be focused and on task, although many are talking at their table group. They were that kind of came and went, you know.
Yeah.
And the library group took a while to settle down, but about half do get books and settle down. And then looking, and for a while there, they were kind of sharing books and talking. And then some were reading out loud to each other, but they were chit-chatting a little bit. But the group working with the teachers the most focused, because you were right there with them, you know.
That makes sense.
And then, so when you were talking about teacher attention, you were working with a small group, although you appear to be monitoring the other group's behaviors, asking students to knock into certain books, and also asking students to use quieter voices. And then the teacher gets her group working and then walks around redirecting students who are not following directions. You used a lowered voice to redirect a group of students, and she allowed the reading group to get comfortable on the floor.
I'm fast forwarding it to share with you.
Okay, so the kids in the library groups and the independent groups, did you see anything that you liked?
Yeah. Well, some of those kids that were working independently really got a lot of work done. And, I don't mind if they're talking a little bit to each other while they're doing their work. That was fine, as long as they were getting their work done. So
Okay, so what I wanted to point out to you is that I'm using a Google Doc in this video conversation. It's shared with her, but it's also, she's looking at my screen, so she can see I'm screen sharing as well as sharing the document with her. She's talking and I'm taking notes, okay?
I was happy with the amount of work that most of the kids were able to do. And, sitting in with the small group, I wasn't able to hear all the conversations the kids in the library were having. So it's nice to hear from you that they were, talking about the books that they had picked out and reading to each other, and not just kind of sitting there chit-chatting. So that's nice to hear, because that was the whole point of bringing all the books and having the library time, is so that they would have access to them and, encourage them to read more and get excited about what they're reading.
Library and opportunity to practice reading.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw that when the kids were in the groups were working independently, they got a lot more done than you realized that they were getting done, right? And that you, and most of them, and wanted to give the students more access. Make that correction. Access to the library and opportunities to practice reading. How much reading time do they normally get, or independent reading, or do they
not a lot of, in class, it's really not a lot of independent reading. I mean, maybe they'll read for small periods of time and then we'll read it again as a class, but they really don't. I haven't given them a lot of opportunities to read independently, I think, because of coming in late and having so much, curriculum I felt to cover, and just, we do a lot of reading, a lot of group reading, partner reading, choral reading, but not a lot of independent reading. So
how do you feel, this is kind of a little bit of a bird walk, but it triggered a thought. How is their stamina for reading independently?
Not great.
Mm-hmm.
I think, maybe about 10, 15 minutes for most of them right now. And then for some of them, I mean, it's momentary. Like Elijah and a couple of the other ones.
I'm just going to make a couple of notes down here that we can come back to later.
Okay.
Independent reading stamina. So that's like kind of a little bit of a different topic, but it's something that maybe we can talk about or look at later. I'm just thinking with assessment and testing coming up, is what I'm finding with some of the other people that I'm working with. That's something that they're working on with their kids, partly to get them to be able to get through the passages on the testing assessments. To tell them to get used to reading for folks.
Okay, I'm going to stop that right now because if you have access to this PowerPoint, you can have access to that video clip. But I wanted you to see an example of a number of different things. I wanted you to see an example of the video conference, and I wanted you to see an example of how I was using the Google Docs, or how we use the Google Docs, and I wanted you to see an example of the mentoring process where I was typing and she was talking and thinking. I was paraphrasing, and I'm not saying this is the best example in the world. I'm just saying that it was a free example, and it was easy for me to get, okay? But I think that it's a decent example of the process is what I wanted you to get a feel for. Okay, down here there's also talking about another thing for you to look at. If you haven't gone to the teachingchannel.org, that's a great resource for when you're working with your teachers, but also it has examples of video conferencing also. So I wanted you to think about it. When we meet with our teachers, we don't recommend that you do it every single week. We recommend that we'd like you to see it if you're meeting with them virtually, at least once a month, face-to-face. There's a question, how do we find this video on YouTube? You know what, I can share the link with you at the end. If you Google my name, it might come up, but I'm not sure. But I can share the link with you at the end, okay? All righty. So, well, let me see if I can do it. Save. Well, let me see if I can go back. What do I get right here? Oh, that's not it. Hold on. Let me try to get the YouTube link. Right here, and I can just give it to you right now if you want to see it. It is copy link address. It's not the most flattering thing of me, but it's about as good as you're going to get, I think. So there's the link for the YouTube video. So you have it if you want to see it in its entirety. Okay? So some of the things that we wanted to share with you is looking at virtual resources. and technology pieces. We have the web page, which is btplacoe.com. It always looks like bitplaco to me, but anyway, btplacoe.com, excuse me. Google Drive is one that we use a lot, being able to share tools, Google Docs, Google Forms, and Google Sheets, and Google Slides, which is what this is. We use Zoom, which the website is zoom.us. Another example of technology that you might use with your mentors is, or mentees, emailing. You'll be using Canvas, and Edpuzzle is another one where you can videotape things, or you can work with your teachers to take video and chop it and edit it to be able to use it in the class with them, okay, with their students. So that might be one that if your teacher is wanting to explore some things like that, or if you want to videotape your meeting or your interactions with the teachers, you can edit it on Edpuzzle, okay? So these are just some resources for you that we wanted to share, but also that we will be using throughout the course of the year, okay? I wanted you to have a time to practice, but I don't think this webinar is set up quite the way I had hoped to be able to do this. But think, you have a lot of time to think over the summer, but realize that technology is something we're kind of encouraging for you to do. Okay. How do we find the video on YouTube? I think I gave it to you. It's right here. Okay. Good. There was a question. Okay. Are there any other questions that you want to type in? You want me to address over here? You can type them in the chat box while we're waiting. Any questions? Are you guys, oh, okay. Denise, you're going to type one in? If you type it in, and I'll read it and share it with people. Is the message coming? Okay. Have you got new forms for special ed? Good question. Some of the forms will be the same and some of them will be different. The special ed website is not built yet, but the forms will be similar. Some will be exactly the same. Some of them will be a little bit different for special ed. Remember, the special ed teachers are also in the induction program, but they're also taking classes so at the same time. So you meet with them about once a month, but they'll also be working in the coursework that they're doing as part of their induction, their SPED Clear induction for this next year. I hope that answers that question. Okay, any others? Okay, I'm going to move forward right here. What I have for you is evaluation. Let me see. I thought I had put it up there. I apologize. It's not a live link. It is. You know what I'm going to do is I have all your emails. I am going to send you electronically the evaluation for today's webinar. If you have questions, you can ask them through the evaluation form if you don't want to type them in right here, or you can email me. But the big thing is, oh, there was one question about the mentor logs. I'll talk about that in a second. So I'll send you the you guys are making me laugh. I'll send you the evaluation link to go on and do an evaluation about the webinar today. The question about the mentor logs is you'll fill them out today for put in the time, put in that it was a webinar, it was mentor training, Okay, and then artists, I'll be right with you. And then you need to submit it by June 20th to Stephanie Conan. So the email address is Conan _ and that's the secretary's email, and she will save your logs, and as soon as your personnel request has been completed, you'll be able to go on, and she will make the submission for your payroll after that. But please make the submission to her for the mentor logs, and that'll also keep you up to date with them. Question was, will I be able to go back to the previous course sites and complete the evaluations? If you have the links to each one of the trainings, the evaluation link is the very last page. So I will include that in the email I send you with the link for the evaluation for today. So I'll give you like day 1 and the link, and day 2 and the link. So you'll have access to all the PowerPoints for that. So you can go back. Within the PowerPoints, all the tools are live linked. And then once you're into Canvas, you can also have access to the forms that way. Okay? Any other questions? Are you guys good? Raise your hands if you're good. I like this. Okay. All right. Sometimes people step away, and I get that. I get that. I have no way to check that you haven't. This is only my accountability piece. So I want to thank you for attending, and I hope that our next webinar is a little more polished. August 8th is going to be our next meeting. You should be getting a mentor bulletin at the beginning of each month. So you'll get one. You should have gotten one for June. If you haven't, I'll include that with the email I'm going to send out. I'll include the mentor bulletin. The webinar is a webinar or a real person meeting face-to-face. You'll have choices. August, and that's going to go over nuts and bolts. It'll have we've got the dates for the meetings in the fall, and you'll be getting more information as we go. Okay? Just a second. I'm looking. Fingerprinting, Stephanie didn't contact me. The HR department will contact you when everything gets going. Everything is approved. Okay, we are only submitting logs for the 5 to 8 p.m. I enjoyed this webinar. Thank you. Lots to learn. Didn't receive a mentor bulletin. Okay, so submitting mentor logs for today and the evenings that you came. Okay? If you are retired or full release, you can submit for the days. But if you're in the classroom and got a sub, then we can't pay you for those days. Okay? There's lots to learn. There's a lot of front loading. Once you get in and you start doing it, then you go, oh yeah, that's what she was talking about. Or you'll say, oh yeah, now I have a question about this, that. Okay? Alrighty. Thanks, you guys. Bye. Okay? Have a good summer, and I'll be talking to you. Okay?